I was listening in on my daughter's online class this week when I overheard her teacher mention something called the growth mindset. And the experience wound up giving me something valuable that I could use and something practical when picking movies to watch with my daughter and just thinking about movies in general. And I hope I can put my finger on it and share it with you in this video. So this teacher is telling the kids about the growth mindset, and it usually refers to academic achievement. Its developer, Carol Dweck, proposed it originally as a way to address the academic achievement gap she saw in education in the early 2000s. Her studies seem to show that students who approached their studies with a fixed mindset, a belief that their ability to learn was has a predetermined limitation, were less likely to overcome academic challenges and flourish at school. Now, they got these fixed mindsets from a variety of sources in the home, culture, tradition, peers, or self-esteem issues. She found that if students could instead be taught to employ a growth mindset, this idea that their capacity for learning could itself improve or expand through effort and a supportive environment, then there might be no limit to how much they could learn and consequently what they might achieve in life. I was very happy to hear my daughter's teacher urging her and the other students to stop saying things like, "I can't," or "I don't know how," and instead think in terms of yet. I can't read very well yet. I can't do long division yet, but I will. Because a fixed mindset, however they come by it, tells kids that their intelligence is static or finite, like a glass of water. It holds so much and no more. This growth mindset tells kids that not only is your cup never really full, maybe you don't even have a cup per se. Your capacity may be unlimited, and the world around you is constantly available to you to learn and grow in. Now, that small shift in Carol Dweck's work brought with it a major benefit. The idea that our lives are fluid, our minds elastic, and our capacities unrestrained. And not just our capacity for learning as originally intended, all of our human capacities. So this idea of the growth mindset really took off when it was introduced. So I thought, where have I seen this before, and what can I use it for? Well, this channel is predominantly about movies. But before I even get that far, it was maybe part coincidence, part self-fulfilling prophecy that I chose that same night of my child's online class to read her What Do You Do with a Chance by Kobe Yamada at bedtime. And as I turned the pages, there was the growth mindset all laid out for me in beautiful detail. Even the brilliant illustrations by the artist May Bosom seemed to be in on the secret. And if you haven't read this book to your own children by now, I urge you to pick it up. I'll put a link in the description. It's maybe one of the most valuable lessons we as parents get to impart to our children. And the book goes something like this. A young character is confronted by a chance, depicted as a sort of butterfly, but doesn't know what to do with it. They try to grab it at first and it gets away, and everyone around them just laughs at them. So they stop looking for chances to take because of that social stigma, that embarrassment of failing. So after that, they stick to their usual known world for a while. And it has its excuses for failures built right in, and everybody just goes along and letting chances fly by until they're in this agreed, confined, gray reality of good enough. Maybe you can see that as tradition or culture or economic strata, or whatever limiting factors you might have ever wanted to transcend in your own life. It's the fixed mindset where they don't even see chances around them anymore. I mean, why would they? Their cup is already full. I immediately felt that the kid in this story, What Do You Do with a Chance, was in a way connected to the characters of every good story and in many good movies that I'd always loved, and especially in the children's movies that my daughter loved. You could place this hero of What Do You Do with a Chance easily onto the diagram of the hero's journey, except Now there's something a little new to add to that diagram, and I found this pretty exciting. Even with my own years of frustrated screenwriting, I'd never really looked at the hero's journey exactly this way. Now, quickly, if you're not familiar with the hero's journey, there's some links to Joseph Campbell's work down below as well. Campbell's work proposes a similar journey, in essence, takes place for thousands of heroes or protagonists in thousands of stories over thousands of years, so that the steps of a compelling story can be boiled down into a shared human experience that translates across time and cultures. What do you do with a chance, now carried with it, for me, something a little bit new from my mental diagram of that human journey, the hero's journey. And it had, in fact, made me realize the difference between a chance and an opportunity. So the kid in the story is depicted being surrounded by very gray people in the beginning, but the kid is already in color. So let's look at the gray people for a second. They're in the ordinary world on the map of the hero's journey, black and white world, known expectations and limits. And what does the child have drawn in vibrant color that the others don't seem to have? I thought it was a growth mindset. This kid might not be ready yet to find his own place in the world, but with preparation and determination displayed in the intervening pages of the book, they can develop that potential. And the chance this kid is grabbing at exists outside the ordinary world. It's not a lottery ticket. It's not a job or an opportunity to replace one of the elders that are depicted in the book. This kid takes the growth mindset with its belief that his capacity is unlimited, and enters a world of color, of invention, of personalized adventure, with mythical beasts and tasks, and eventually, by the end of the story, he's flying above the known world, transforming it into color too. This child has taken the hero's journey and returned with an elixir, which is one of the major steps on that journey, and now gives to the world the growth mindset validated. The story ends with the answer to the title's question, what do you do with a chance? You take it, because a chance can represent the start of something unique and wonderful. So what's the difference between hard work and determination leading to a success in the ordinary world and hard work and determination leading to a success in the special world of the hero's journey? For me, it's transformation. In the ordinary world, you might get what you want. On the hero's journey, instead, you get what you need. It involves a personal interior journey. It's the shedding of the fixed mindset and an embrace of a growth and a potential that this person needs most to be happy. The growth mindset is part and parcel of many great stories and characters and makes the difference between just an opportunity and the chance that it contains. A chance for transforming yourself into what you need to be, and also what your ordinary world needs. You may not know. So now we have this little exercise for spotting the growth mindset in the stories and movies we love to share with our child. Does the hero transform their capacities, whether it's for love or learning, and does the world around them eventually transform after that? But it's still a little subtle in real life, this distinction between chance and opportunity. How can we guide our own kids to look into their own opportunities in this fixed, shared world that we're all born into, and recognize instead a chance meant only for them? In my parenting, there can be really only one criteria so far, and that's joy. Are you willing to transform yourself into that which brings joy? It has to involve personal fulfillment, belief in oneself, and that potential to transform. All of the heroes that stick with us begin in the world of the fixed mindset, but something nags at them or upsets their interior status quo.
This, me, right now, this is who I am. This is my lot for life.
We can fix this. I'm gonna fix this whole mess.
And that's when they leave the straight and narrow path of opportunity.
You can fix this, right, Joy?
I don't know.
And they take instead a chance. So what does a chance look like when it's not a shiny gold butterfly? Well, look for the growth mindset, and it might just lead you right there. Do the heroes' human capacities stop feeling stunted and find some ability to grow beyond what was possible in the beginning of the story? In movies, it can look like this. Or this.
Do you think you could sing like that in front of a real audience?
I don't know, but I want to try.
And this. So maybe we can identify the growth mindset inside the hero's journey of our own favorite movies that we watch with our kids and share with them this idea that their own capacities aren't set in stone. And to get there, they'll need to find the strength, sometimes to change or the strength even to fail, but persevere and say, I'm not ready yet, but I can do better, maybe tomorrow. And with this change in themselves, our kids may bring back to the world the ultimate gift as seen in the hero's journey. It's the most any of us can bring to the world, our authentic selves. And please get your kids What Do You Do with a Chance and tell them to keep an eye out for that gold butterfly of chance. Let's help our kids grow up to look their opportunities square in the eye and examine them not just for the chances they hold, but for the right chances, the ones meant only for them, the ones that are a reflection of them at their core, that only they themselves will know when they appear. The chances that bring some joy. Thanks for watching. So the teacher's telling kids about growth mindset. Now it's basically the idea that human processes are not fixed, but can be developed over time. So this teacher was telling the kids about the growth mindset, and